We're set.
All right, welcome to another Thursday night of the Guitar Gear Locker, and this is live show number 37.
37.
And my name is Alex Brooks. This is my co-host, Mr. Roger Sutherland, and I'm happy to have my longtime buddy here, Mr. Ruston Grosse, the master of drums and guitar wizardry. And yeah, man. So finally, we got you on the show, and I know you got a lot of stuff coming up too. We can talk about, but I'd like to kind of get into, how like go back in time, and what led you into music, and for being a drummer and a guitar player, was there one instrument that you started first? And yeah, basically take us back, if you can remember
the beginning.
how you, yeah,
For
how
sure.
it all began.
Well, Alex, Roger, thank you guys for having me on, man. I've been watching the show for a while, dude, and it's very exciting. It's cool. I'm glad we get to nerd out, and I'm sorry I didn't take my contacts and put my glasses on myself so we could match. But yeah, man, I'm stoked. I'm happy to see you guys. It's awesome. Hello,
Yeah,
Alex.
same.
It's good to see you, brother. It's been a long time. I know we kind of just jumped on here.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, it's everything. So the beginning, the the conception. I was just talking to my son about this actually yesterday, or it might have been today. How when I was in maybe kindergarten, we had our little like Bobo music class where we're like clapping along and all this shit. And it's funny. I was kind of like thinking about the fact that throughout school, high school, middle school, everything, I don't remember a fucking teacher. But I do remember the music teachers, and maybe like some of them, their names, but I always remember the music teachers for some reason. And this one teacher, she had us like, doing clapping and playing the little claves and stuff, and actually introduced us to Edvard Grieg, who is still one of my favorite composers. I love Grieg. Crazy,
nice.
Awesome. I think Norwegian, in the Hall of the Mountain King and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But one day she brought our little, goofy music class into the real band room, which wasn't available until you were like 5th grade or whatever. And the real band teacher had his teacher come in and do like a whole little presentation. I just remember like being in kindergarten. I remember sitting there in the little goofy chairs that we had, and this old man walking in that looked like Walt Disney or something. And I remember looking at this guy and just being like for some reason something hit me when I was this little kid. I was like, this guy is like an angel. And then he went on to talk about how he was like, he played all these instruments, and he played the trumpet and like a million other things. And I was just like, that was the moment where I was like, I want to play music. I know this. And then like later on, it kind of morphed into other things. But yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
that was the moment for
Wow.
sure.
Was he the teacher? Like every time you walked into class, he was always like playing his trumpet, like warming up and stuff.
That was the thing. I never met that guy again. That was like the teacher's teacher. And it wasn't even my teacher's teacher until like years later. I wound up joining, whatever band. I was 5th grade, and they let me join 8th grade jazz band, which was hilarious. But this guy,
Well,
I don't know what it was.
I never thought of it, but I don't remember any of my teachers either. But I definitely remember the music teacher, so that kind of struck a chord with me. But
yeah,
then when you were talking about the trumpet, I just always remember my music and band teacher. Like when we'd get there, he'd always be warming up on his trumpet. I'm like, why is he always warming his trumpet up?
Yeah, you gotta make sure it's in tune.
Man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all good. Trumpets are like keyboards; they can easily go out of tune.
Oh yeah. He had to keep them. He had to keep the pipes warm.
Yeah.
Nice. So now, when did you, because for all the years I've known you, you've played drums and guitar, and I know there's a lot of other instruments that you like to get into. We can talk about too.
Sure.
So was it the drums or was it the guitar first, or how did that work?
So I had always like played around on my mom's guitar and the grandpa's guitar, but really the first instrument that I was like, I want to take this like seriously was bass. And so when I was 12, I remember I got like some in-home bass lessons or whatever from some dude that showed me like Nirvana, and that was like when I first started taking it seriously, and I love the bass. I still play the bass all the time.
Right.
But yeah, and it kind of led into, you know, the drums being in school at that point, you know, when I was around 12 or whenever the heck it was, fifth or between fifth and seventh grade. And they let me play the drums. And then I was like, you know, oh my God, I need this. And I lived in like a 1-bedroom apartment with my parents, so that shit wasn't happening. But like later on, I wound up I saved up $100 and bought the 3 toms and a kick drum from my buddy Jim. Shout out James Van Strander for giving me my first drum set. But yeah,
Right.
kind of
Nice.
In an
slow
apartment.
rolling. Yeah, well, after that, we wound up moving in with. It was my mom got remarried, and my stepdad.
Yeah,
We had like a bigger house, and I could kind of do it there. And actually, this is a funny story. So when I was in high school, at this point, I already knew. Like, I was around 12 when I started the bass, and I also was like, I want to fucking play death metal. And at that point, I was like, I want to play death metal drums and tour all over the world, and that was my idea. And like, finally, now that I'm like almost 40, it's kind of happening. But like, you know. It's funny. So like I remember being in high school and I fucking hated school. Whatever. I'm sure you guys can relate.
Yeah.
And so I'd like go to half my classes and during the day, and then I'd go to lunch, shove food down my throat, and then I'd run into the band room where I didn't have any classes at that point. I just was like buddy with the the band teacher, whose name was Michael Sobko. I'll never forget him. And he used to let me take this Pearl kit and this Tama kit and combine them into one like giant ridiculous Terry Bozzio autistic fucking thing, you know, in the like soundproof room. And then I would literally just cut the rest of the day from lunch on, like, and this was like almost every day for like a couple of months, and like playing. But then I would kind of like I had to like draw it back because he's like, man, if we ever get caught, we're both gonna be in trouble. It's like, maybe next year I can get you to join the jazz band. I was like, nah. So, but then I'd go home and I'd do the same shit. I would just go like drums, guitar, bass, drums, guitar, bass. So I heard fucking pounded on the wall. Being like, shut the fuck up, you know?
Yeah. So, you know, you mentioned, you know, being in kindergarten and, you know, obviously it was like classical music that struck a chord with you. And knowing you, I know you're like myself, you're very diverse with your musical taste and stuff like that. So was there a lot of, you know, like what was the soundtrack like as a kid for you? Was there a lot of music in the house, or was it out the house that you heard a lot of music?
So my mother was a guitarist. I still have her guitar somewhere. I don't know if it's here. I don't know where the hell it is at this point. I have her guitar lying around somewhere here. And she played like flamenco, but on a 12 string. So it was like nuts. And my dad was a singer actually. And I remember he would smoke like 4 packs a day, and he had a 5-octave vocal range, dude. He was nuts. But I remember both of them saying, like, so they would play like they would play like Mahavishnu Orchestra and fucking Steely Dan and the Beatles and like all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah.
And I remember both of them being like, because I told them, I was like, the music is what I want to do. And I remember them always being like, you know, you got to be in the right place at the right time, and it's really hard to break into. And you know, I can say now that they were fucking wrong. I can confidently say they had no clue what they were talking about because they didn't do it. You know what I mean? And it's fine. It's just funny, like the weird perspective you get. You think of your parents as like infallible and they fucking know everything when you're little, and you're like, that motherfucker was high or something. You know?
Yeah. Then you found out it's work ethic, you know, it's like putting the work into it and slugging it out. And, you know, some people, you know, it happens pretty early. Some people doesn't, you know.
But, you know, and some of it is, Alex, I've talked about this before. Some of it is perspective too. Like to you guys, it seems really easy. To me, I'm like your parents. It seems absolutely impossible. Like I hear you all talking about writing songs and doing this and doing that. I'm like, how's that even happen?
Well,
I can kind of relate to your parents. It's like, oh yeah, you know, that's for other people.
I would say, I mean, I spent the better part of 40 years stuffing a rabbit into a hat just so I could pull it out, you know, every once in a while. And that's the mystery. It's like, you know, it is work ethic and consistency and all these things. And then you kind of get to a certain point where you're like, all right, I can do what I want to do. And I mean, and regardless, like it's all about the creativity. But you know, the
Absolutely.
thing that nobody sees is, other than, you know, the performer, is like the fucking years of stuffing that rabbit into the hat and not killing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that you
Yeah.
could just be like, ta-da, you know,
Yeah.
before your
Yeah.
very eyes.
Yeah. So what was your first band? Like, what was the first band, like serious band that you kind of got involved with?
So, oh
biggest band.
man, well, I think I have to preface it a little. So I remember being like, I played with a couple of my buddies like a couple times, and you know, I was into like nobody. I didn't know anybody that was into metal, so I had found a lot of metal through Beavis and Butthead actually, and Pit magazine, and like some other magazines that had like compilation CDs. And I remember going to like finally finding shows, or realizing that the shitty dance club down the street from me actually had metal shows, and I was like, what? And then going and getting like CDs and tapes from people and shit. But I think I'm going off on what was the original question again?
What was like the first, you know, serious band like situation you got in?
So, and yeah, and then after kind of messing around, I joined a band when I was 14, playing guitar, and everybody was my age now. So like the youngest dude I think was 36, and I was 14, which is funny because like that's kind of how it always has been for me. It's like not always, but you know, brother, you know what I'm talking about, yo. But
that's somebody we know, Roger.
we love that motherfucker. But yeah, dude. So that band was called Cranial Intrusion, and that band was sick. And they were always like, dude, use this as a stepping stone. But I wanted to like, I thought they were killer, and they had original songs that were fucking sick. Plus, I learned like the whole Decade of Aggression songbook, the Slayer. That was the only band whose shit I ever learned. Otherwise, I never learned anyone's songs, but I learned a bunch of fucking Slayer so I could play it with these old dudes, right? When I was 14. And that shit was rad. But otherwise, the first band that I really took seriously was with our good buddy Pat over there, my brother Pat Shea, and Alex, obviously you remember too, and Mike Trush and Thoros and all these guys. That was Silva, which had been, Alex started that band in Ukraine fucking years before. Alex Merkulov, for nobody knows, right? But yeah, and he brought it over to the US. I wound up meeting him through this other band that actually I saw first playing opening for Immolation, which was fucking sick. And it was like, you know, I think it was like, and speaking of which, Edu, who we both just saw, was the tour manager on that tour.
Oh,
so it was like Immolation, Christian, or some shit, and it was
yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Which there's so many. It's funny, man. We just missed we keep missing each other, but yeah,
I know. It was like literally a week that you were in Brazil.
Not even, dude. It was like 3 days. We were both just in Brazil touring with the same band consecutively right after each other.
And from what I hear in the grapevine, that somebody was sick, and
oh yeah,
I knew it.
I think that was still, you know, in that bus. So I got it. And I had it for about 2.5 weeks.
You know what though? They had it first. They had it first. They fucking had it first. Yeah. And then they gave it to Andrew and I still got some fucking guys. Yep.
Holy crap. So you all passed it around on that bus.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we both got the same tour aids. I love it.
Well, me and Ruston we've been sick on tour. I think we did the whole tour with the flu, right?
Something like that. Dude. I just remember I'm fucking sick.
Yeah.
That shit sucks,
remember, like, there was a show, Roger, where me and I think it was Boston we played.
Oh God, yeah.
So do you remember the backstage was like this? It was just like a piece of cinder block or whatever, you know.
Yep. The church.
And I just remember on this cold floor and just laying there up until, you know, that I had to like go on stage and feeling like death. And it's funny because I don't know if I ever told you this, Ruston, but I saw a YouTube video of it after the fact, you know, some years later. And I was like, damn, we sound pretty damn good for a bunch of guys with the flu. Let me tell you, you know,
for real. Dude, that show was miserable. That was that show at the church or whatever, which was like the secret
Yeah.
hangout for fucking Aerosmith or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
fucking shit that was a horrible show, but it was good. We still
Yeah.
played, of course. We're
Yeah.
professionals.
Yeah. And like
Yeah.
when I saw the video, you don't realize sometimes like when you're feeling like you're feeling like
man.
death, on stage and you're plowing through it. And and then when you see the video, it's like, wow, not too bad.
There's something to be said for that.
There's a friend of y'all's. He's back.
Ocean.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah.
Ruston.
John, what's going on?
Yeah. So
that's funny though.
So yeah, so Sylveth. Now, when you hooked up with Sylveth, because I know you were from Jersey before you came to Philly, right? So were you still in Jersey at that time, or?
So yeah, so Alex and I met through this band Encaged, who I saw first time with Immolation, and he wound up, stealing me for his band, and it was just he and I for a long while. And then he wound up moving to New York. He got a job in IT stuff, and that's where he met Pat Shea, my best friend in the world now. And because he lived there, and then both Pat and I wound up moving to the Poconos at the same time. So right up in near wherever the hell it was, Marshall's Creek. And he was like, "Oh, you guys got to meet." So we met. We wound up becoming best friends. And then years later, I moved to Philly. Alex moves to Philly. Pat moves to Philly. We move around, and we wind up kind of congealing back together and really starting it again with the three of us and writing more and working on those songs that we had. And then we got Thoros playing bass, and we had Mike playing keyboards, and Mike played bass, and all during that time we played. One of our first shows was with Goreaphobia, and that's where we met you guys, dude.
Wow. Oh, that's right. And
yeah.
If I can remember correctly, the first time I ever saw you play was you were opening for Fintroll up in Allentown. Is that the Crocodile Rock?
Yeah,
maybe?
we did that show. I don't know if that was the first. That might have been the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think that was the first time I saw you play. And if any death metal viewers out there, now Mike Trush, he's a friend of mine and from way back. Mike was originally in this band called Deteriorate, if anybody knows remembers Deteriorate. So Mike was telling me about this great group of guys that he's playing with, great musicians and all that, and he was absolutely correct. I remember the first night seeing you guys, and I was like, wow, these guys are really good. Where the hell they come from?
So it's not John, by the way. It's Aggie.
That's egg roll, by the way.
Oh, egg roll.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like John.
On Frankfurt Avenue.
Yep.
So you were heard from Frankfurt Avenue, huh?
I lived on Frankfurt too.
Yeah.
Over there. What's your Wawa?
Yeah. Get you Wawa. She up there? She yet? No.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't know if you all saw a figure come behind me. My brother just got in town, and he lives up there.
Oh, nice.
He's, over in Lumberton.
Oh shit! You gotta ask him what his Wawa is.
Yeah, what's your Wawa? Oh, he's
541 and 38.
Oh, really? The hell are you doing up there?
He's not a New Jersey person.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I know you got to keep that shit down under your breath wherever you go. I live in Florida, and I still got to keep quiet about where I'm from.
Right? You're laughing. Iggy said he remembers.
Get back to Sylveth. Now, how long, did that band last with you in it?
So in that iteration, I would say that kind of went from 2006 or 7 till maybe 2009, 2000, almost 10. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Around that.
Right.
Yeah, maybe about a little bit after we stopped. After we did the first tour with Master, you and I, that was 2008. I must have been fucking 21, 22, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You guys just fucking beating my ass.
two grumpy old guys and one young guy,
Right, dude, I needed to learn, It's good.
Yeah, that was a rough tour. I mean, and that's the funny thing is sometimes when we're on a tour and there's like a young band that's opening the tour, And they're just like, oh man, this is great. You guys are so cool. We're like, yeah, well, unfortunately, it's not always that way, like maybe it's the best to have like the worst possible tour first instead of the
Right.
best, not to get so used to, everybody being nice and this is such an easy tour. And
that I've been lucky with. Everyone's been pretty nice. That I feel like everyone that I talk to at any level in this fucking quote unquote business, everybody's thing is just like, dude, just don't be a dick. Like it's that's really the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's really not that hard. It's more energy to be an asshole.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And
right.
when you're on tour, it's like it doesn't matter if it's the musicians, the crew, we're all in it together, and one big family on tour, and you got to be that way.
Yeah, that's not to say they don't get fucking cranky, because I do.
Yeah.
But
We all have our days,
Yeah.
I definitely.
I've always had a good mood.
I'm a sweet little baby angel. But no,
That's me.
that's funny. But yeah, dude, after Sylveth, that was when. So I remember playing a show. I think it was with like, what was that pirate band? I don't know, some fucking big.
I remember. I know
Hailstorm, maybe. I don't know.
I
They
can't
dressed up like
remember.
fucking pirates.
Yeah.
And then I remember we were there, and Chuck was there too, and I think you were there, and that's when you were like, dude, I want to talk to you about playing with, do you ever heard of Master? And I never heard of Master at that point. Like, green ass motherfucker, no clue. And I was like, that sounds great. And dude, if it was like, if really, dude, you and John, shout out to John McEntee, I love that guy too. The two of you guys fucking like got me. Like, you were like, yo, you need to go tour with this band. And I did. And then you and I did that tour. And then, like, really that kind of, like, led me into everything else that I've done in the metal world, dude. So, thank you.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for, being my friend and doing that tour.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Now,
of course.
We've done two tours together.
Yeah, we did too. Yep. That one, and then the one with Wild Bill on guitar,
Wild
too.
Bill. That was a wild tour, too.
Dude, it was. That one was a little rough, but it was still, I mean, there's again, we're fucking driving around in a little van full of farts, you know how it is.
Yeah. Paul leading the ship into battle.
Yeah, driving all the time like a maniac somehow. I don't know. I think I drove a little on that one, but the one before, something happened. I think we were kids, and I let Pat use my car, or I used Pat's car, or something got pulled over, and the fucking registration was old, so I lost my license and didn't even know it. So I went to go drive on that tour, and I'm like, oh fuck, my license is screwed. And I'm like, I didn't have the money or whatever at the point, being like a derelict fucking artist or whatever, So Paul drove that whole shit, dude, between the three of us.
Living the dream, Ruston.
Yeah, dude. One man's dream is another man's nightmare, Alex. You know this.
The coach been saying swashbucket, and then he said the pirate band.
It might have been Swashbuckle. Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw one up real quick from Cheech. Cheech is with us. He said, "What's up, guys? What's up, Aggie, Ruston?" He said, "What's up, Larry Bird?" I mean, Roger's brother. He doesn't look like, maybe a little.
It's like that's Larry Bird's cool brother. Like that was like
well,
two bands and shit.
When we were younger, he could shoot basketball like Larry Bird.
That's Harry Bird.
Harry Bird.
That sounds weird. Yeah, show me your Harry Bird.
No, not right now.
Pull that rabbit out of the hat. All right, Jesus. So what else is happening? What else we want to talk about?
We can get back to Master, because I know you got a killer tour coming up in the States. Finally, band's coming back to the States after, it's been quite a few years, I think, right?
Yeah, I think 6 years. And 2019 was the last one we did.
Yeah. So that's a good thing. So, but let's get in between there. I know there's some other stuff that you've been doing, and as of recent, well, I don't know how long it's been now, but you're now playing drums for Skeletal Remains. So, and by the way, you're a perfect fit for the band. I've seen the band a few times, done some like fests with the band, and what great band, and you fit in perfectly.
Awesome, man. Thank you. They're a blast.
Sounds great. So, so how did that happen? How did you start working with these guys?
So yeah, so where the hell was going on? I was home doing something. I think I had just finished building a cold plunge or something, and which I do on the side, which is fun. And Charlie Corrin called me, who plays drums for Incantation. He played for Morbid Angel, he Ascended Dead. He's in fucking everything. He's a maniac.
Yeah.
And he hit me up and he was like, "Hey man, would you want to play with these guys? They need a drummer." Da 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 da. And I was like, "Yeah." Like, and I'd heard him before, and I kind of like delved a little deeper into it. I was like, "This shit is sick. Sounds like a blast." And
Yeah.
I talked to Chris on the phone and the guys, and they were in Europe actually at the time. And they were like, "Yeah, dude, you know, when we come back, we got these shows lined up. Da 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 da. Are you interested?" And we worked it out and started playing with them. Went on the first U.S. tour with them, which was awesome. And we actually brought brother Patrick Shea with us doing sound, which was
Nice.
awesome. He did sound, he did all kinds of shit, dude. I was using his drums on that tour, so that was a blast to have him too. And it was just great, dude. It was a fun fit. Like, we all were just laughing all the time, which is great. Which apparently was like very different for them, so that's cool. I'm glad we could bring some fucking levity to the band, you know. But yeah, man, those guys rule. They're a lot of fun to play with and tour with, and it's cool. They fucking
Awesome.
rule.
And you've done quite a few tours now, I believe, with them as well, right?
I think it's coming up. It'll be a year almost. It'll be a year in like September that I've been with them, but we've been pretty nonstop. Like, we did, I don't know how many, a few US tours at this point, a couple shows, a couple tours in Europe at this point, Brazil. We're going back to Europe with Suffocation in like a month. Less than a month. We'll be over there with Suffocation and a bunch of other bands. And then we're going to Colombia. And then there's a bunch more. It's never ending, you know.
Wow.
So and you just came off this, you know, Brazil run. So can you kind of tell us a little bit about that and how that went?
That was awesome, dude. That was my first time in Brazil, and we were with, you know, obviously Nervo Chaos and Edu Tumba Productions.
Yeah.
They rule. Awesome bunch of
Yeah.
dudes. It was awesome to get to finally meet Edu and hang out with those guys. And so I've been talking to them forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So was this the same run that you all just did, Alex?
Yeah. Yeah.
We were
literally
Cool.
a couple days apart, and we jumped in with the same crew guys, and and it was a lot of fun. You know, great shows, and you know, I'm sure it was the same for you, because you know, times I've gone down to Brazil, it's usually fly down, you play 2 shows, you know,
right.
Sao Paulo and wherever else, and so this time it was going in places that really don't get much music at all. So which was kind of interesting. I'm sure it was like the same kind of experience for you guys. You're playing in these areas that, you know, because Brazil's such a huge country, but you just, you know, it's kind of like Australia. When you go over to Australia and you got like 2-3 places to play, and then you're out of there, you know, because you know. But it was interesting, you know, especially for me, because I've been to Brazil, you know, a few times, but you know, playing some obscure places in Brazil. So I mean, how did that feel for you, like going to some of these, you know, rare places that you don't usually get, you know, extreme metal especially?
It was cool. So we did only the south of Brazil. So we went, like, I forget how many days. It was basically about 2 weeks, and it was all in the south. So a lot of the places were used to getting it too. And like, I know back in the typically a lot of times people, you know, talk about touring in Brazil and they have to fly, and it'll be like only weekend shows because nobody wants to book during the week because everybody's working and shit. But I think this run, I remember Edu was saying a lot about, like, oh, you know, we have to like educate people, like, hey, look, you know, we can have this, or we're going to have this many, you know, we're going to put the tickets at this price so people can come and still spend some money on things, or like, you know, it seems like there's kind of a renaissance in education in terms of like how to support bands, live music, you know what I mean? And a lot of, even that goes to the venues too. A lot more venues are opening in different times, and like, one we played in Foz do Iguaçu, I think was the place, where they had unbelievable, like, it's one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. They have like giant waterfalls that we got to go visit. It was fucking incredible, dude. But that Edu was saying that was like a good venue for like a Monday or Tuesday, because for some reason, like, people just turn up. And because I think it's right on the border of Argentina and Paraguay. So they get like literally like a bus of people from Paraguay, like bussed over just for that show. So it was, but yeah, it was amazing, dude. Like going to some of these places, like even just stopping in like truck stops, dude. Like the truck stops in fucking Brazil are baller. It's like, what the fuck is going? How much was that? It was $8 for all I can eat, fucking amazing everything. Like, you know?
Exactly, totally, It was the same thing because you know, like I said, I usually fly in between the shows, so it was first time on a nightliner, you know, going through Brazil and just seeing that there's parts that we don't see. You know, you just see the city and that's it. And it was kind of interesting, like, you know, driving in the highways and going to the rest stops, and like you said, like, you know, the buffets, and the food is, you know, it's like, why don't we have that here? You know, that kind of stuff. You know, we got McDonald's and, you know, Popeyes or whatever. You know,
yeah, God forbid we eat real fucking food. That was the funny thing too, man. It's like they all have like sick ass showers and like laundry and all this shit, and it's just like, damn, what the heck's going on here?
Yeah.
Or did you guys see? This is the one thing I found hilarious. Did you guys get marmita?
What is it?
So like it would be just like a bowl or a plate styrofoam food, and it was just like layers, but it would be like rice, beans, French fries, and like just all starch, just like layers of fucking starch. And I'm like, what is this?
Like 0 protein.
Yo, and then just like paper thin slice of fucking beef on the top, and I'm like, all right.
You know what? It still sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I would eat
you guys
it right
want
now.
some French fries and pasta and rice and beans mixed together? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, no, I don't ever want to shit again. Like, thanks.
That's funny.
Right? Yeah. So why don't we get in a little bit into the guitar world? You know, so
Dun, dun, dun.
now, you know, most people know you as a drummer, but, you know, I know, you know, how great of a guitar player that you are and songwriter. So, you know, how, you know, where does the guitar sit in your world as far as, you know, being creative? Is it easily the drums number one, or the guitar? And you know, how does that work?
That it shifts a lot, but I can say it's like when I don't know how I write, at least my music, right? That's like, you know, that I tweak out about, or my metal or whatever you want to call it. Like I'll hear it in my head and then I'll have to figure it out. But like the second I hear a riff or like a bass line, it usually starts with like a riff or a bass line or some kind of weird melody or whatever in my head. All the other instruments fill in like automatically. So it's like I already know what the drums are going to do. I don't have to think about it. It's just there already.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So I guess, I mean, none of them are really, I could never say what instrument is like my favorite or what. Like lately I've been playing the shit out of the oud. I love that a lot. I think it's, I don't know if you could see it, but it's sitting right there. That fucking thing is driving me crazy. I'm loving it. And that's like a weird, you know, Turkish microtonal instrument. So I don't know. Well, it's hard to say.
I'm curious about that. Tell us about, you know, like, where does this instrument come from, and
well,
the functions?
Yeah, and
let's pull it on over. So this,
wow,
this is a Turkish oud.
It's
you can
bent.
see the crazy, the neck, the headstock there. Typically, they have these big round backs to them like this. They're made out of different woods. And yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. This one's tuned to C. Oh, it's out of tune. Anyway,
awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
I figured with all that belly in it, it was going to have some low end in it.
Yeah, it is more low endy, but you know, it's hard. It doesn't translate through the mic here. But this is another fun thing. I just took this out of storage and worked on it today and got it all in tune. I don't know if you could see it, but this is called a gucheng.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
It's hard with one hand, but yeah.
when you take up these instruments, I mean, are you just figuring it out on your own, or or somebody giving you some lessons on some of this stuff, or
A lot of the microtonal stuff, like so I have like a whole pile of shit over here, but the oud and the sitar, which I have over there, I've had an oud or a sitar around forever. So I kind of years ago, shit, it must have been like 2010, 11 or so. I wound up, getting a couple of these things gifted to me, and I kind of just started learning about microtonal music specifically, and it's weird because like this thing has no frets, and like look how long the neck is. It's it's like the
Right?
size of my hand, but it's like you can really. So you got to kind of like, it's like playing a fretless bass or whatever. At first, you kind of have to feel where the thing is, but as long as you keep the same kind of muscle memory or positions based on that instrument, like it works out. And then you do kind of weird little trills and bends and use quarter tone notes and all these different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just a
You said it
combination of
needs a
just
single
figuring it
coil.
out and reading.
he
You
said
it
needs a single coil.
Yeah, a single coil, exactly, dude. Actually, I have a single coil EMG for my Bouzouki back there, which I would pull out, but it's
Well,
that's
wait a
fine.
minute. So, can we see the Bouzouki? Because
Yeah.
I've heard you talk about it before.
This is another thing that so this is fun. It's like technically this is an Irish Bouzouki, but I have it tuned to the Greek way, if that makes
Okay.
any sense. So it's CFAD, and there's 8 strings, and they're in kind of like courses. So you see like the first 2, it's an octave, and then the next 2 is an octave. Tune it, and the next 2
You
are
all could have
unison.
given me a warning.
Right? Oh, that's out of tune. Whatever.
Alex, here's why I asked. I was back here working on a guitar yesterday, listening to an interview with him, and he kept talking about that. And I was going like, "What the fuck is this thing he's talking about?" That's why I was like, "I want to see it."
Well, here it is. It's like a giant
There you
mandolin,
go.
Yeah.
except typically the Greek one is a round back, similar to the other one, and also long like this. But it's tuned like CFAD, which is the same it's the same intervals as the 4 highest strings on a guitar.
Yeah.
So like D, G, B, E, and so you can play like triad chords. It sounds like shit, but It's a lot of tune, but
Sounds pretty damn good to me.
Wow.
Aggie said killer.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you can really shred on those things, which I love. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll hear a solo record from you with all this stuff on there.
I'm actually working on something. I was doing something a while back with an ex of mine that was like, using all these instruments where I literally played like 30 something instruments at a time. And we're doing something similar, but we'd bring everybody in, lay them out on yoga mats. We typically do this in like yoga studios just because that's the type of space we could do this in. And and like basically just like rock and roll sound healing. So we'd have everybody laying on the floor. We'd very dynamic. So we'd like build for like an hour. And we'd like use things like almost like live ASMR. So like put shit next to people's heads, or like I have this fucking tube with a spring attached to it that sounds like thunder. So I would like put that in the mic, and then the whole time I'm like playing musical instruments, literally like musical chairs, but they're instruments. And but like and it was cool. And people like, dude, people would like fucking cry, or like have like they'd be like, oh my god, I had like a spiritual experience. And it's crazy, like when you kind of, and I remember doing this by myself when I was a kid, just like with cymbals on my drum set and like trancing out. But like when you kind of just, I'm sure you've just let the fucking guitar feed back and let it like wash over you. When you do that, sometimes there's like, you get into some weird places, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Channeling some things,
Yeah.
Cool.
But I'm working on something now with a few friends of mine where I'm, I don't want to say it's like anything, but if anything, it would be kind of more in the vein of that band Hylum, where it's like kind of weird ambient music, but we're going for a whole thing where I mean, how do we do? We describe it as immersive ritual infused multisensory art that's focusing on like kind of through almost theatrical and musical and in kind of a ritual way, kind of doing the classics. So these old poems from like the Bronze Age, and but making it all very like no woo woo shit. It's like, no, we're just doing the classics, you
Right.
know. But when we get you in there, you're gonna get fucking freaked out. But like, we're dressing up weird. Everything's dark. We're playing, the candles and all these robes and shit. But like, we're just reenacting the classics in kind of our own interpretation. And like the idea is to just get motherfuckers, experiencing something different than the same shit that they've gone on and done. And it's like, I love all this stuff. I would want to experience this. It's like literally we're gonna like lead them down this like weird tunnel contraption that we're building, and like it's gonna be a whole thing. And then it eventually turns into like a dance party, and then we can kind of sneak off and take care of everything else we need to do. But yeah, man, it's I just love to be able to like bust out 30 instruments and not be stuck behind a drum set for a little bit,
Have you tried to figure out ways to incorporate those sounds and those instruments into the more extreme music?
Absolutely. That's
like in a Jimmy
thing.
Page kind of way back in the day,
Yeah. Well, he did. He had like those sitar sounds, and the Beatles even too, obviously.
Yeah, Beatles. Yeah.
Very cool.
That's cool stuff.
And I love hearing this stuff because I know it's the same way for you, Ruston, that as a musician, that you're constantly just trying to go into different territory because you never want to repeat yourself. And, that's why, that's my excuse for having lots of guitars. I'm like, it's like, if something's not coming out of this one, let me grab this one over here. And then, something the magic may happen,
It's true though, man. Like I picked up this guitar I haven't touched in forever today, and I just like all these riffs are coming out, and I'm like, what the hell? Like it's true. Yeah. Sometimes you pick up a different wand and the different magic comes out. And that's what I was gonna say, dude. We're musicians.
Yeah.
There's a distinction there.
No, it totally makes sense. I agree.
Yes.
I think you trademarked that name.
I was gonna say, I see a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt right there, man.
Yeah, what fucking nerd came up with that?
And what Wawa is he near?
Yeah. What's your fucking Wawa there, guy?
Yeah. I think you have to hear Ruston. He has a pretty good Philly skit. He could just do stand up, making fun of people from Philly.
I have what's called mild autism, basically, and
well, wait, is that what you call it, or is it just you don't have a filter? Because I have that problem.
What's the difference? I don't know. They're diagnosing everything nowadays, so let's just go with that.
Ask Alex. Whatever pops in my head flies right out of my mouth.
Good
or bad, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's why I watched a lot of stuff with you the last couple of days. I was like, this is going to be fun.
This guy's an idiot. Hey, what better forum to release all of that than in this wonderful podcast about guitars,
Right.
Yeah. Well,
it's funny because now I have somebody else that usually I say some weird shit and Alex just kind of looks at me, and now he has two of us to look at.
He loves it. He's surrounded.
Right? He's like, where does he come up with this shit? Sorry, Alex.
No, that's okay.
Feel free to jump in wherever you want.
Let's talk about, you got some. I know you've got. You just said you have the Suffocation tour in Europe that you're headed for, and then Masters coming back, which I saw with Sinister. So I think that's a really, really cool tour. And I think now you have another U.S. tour for Skeletal Remains too, right?
Immediately, they actually overlap those two tours. Yeah. So man, I'm excited. We got the Stuffo, and then we got the we're gonna be in Colombia for a few days, and then starting, I think it's like September 12th or something. We're Master is starting in LA. We're playing like a couple shows. Then we're meeting up with Sinister guys and doing a bunch. And then we have a few at the end. But I'm excited, dude. It's been 6 years. This is the return of what I call the faster master.
Yeah.
I can't fucking wait. It's gonna be a blast, dude. I love Paul. He's another one, dude. We keep missing each other every time I'm over there. Like we just played it was a festival in Germany, and they were literally playing the next day, and we're like, motherfucker, man. I wanted to like leave something for him, like, you know.
Yeah. It's the same. I haven't seen Paul. I don't think since maybe I went to his house actually. So I was on tour. It might have been with Vader in Europe or something, and he came out, and that I think that was the last time I saw him. So it's been quite a few years,
Wow.
So I miss that grumpy motherfucker. If you're
Dude,
watching,
he's the best. He fucking rules, man. And it's great. Every time I see him, he's in like better shape. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, he's all ripped and shit. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. I'm thinking Paul's got to be 62 now, something. Like
that. Yep. And
62.
he's gonna fucking age one more year when he's on the road with us, which I'm excited about too.
Well, he only picks up whiskey and cigarettes when he's on tour.
He doesn't even smoke anymore.
Oh, good for him. Good for him.
Wow.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Ruston, in case you didn't know it, you're the man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is it egg roll still? Thank you, egg roll.
Yeah, egg roll. Yeah. How do you get enough rest when you have overlapping tours?
I fucking just sleep when I get home for like a week, dude. I just lay in the yard with the dog and I just honk for like a week. Yeah. I don't. Basically, I don't. With this, I'm gonna have to have somebody filling in at least for a part of it. So we're still working out those details, but fun stuff.
To quote Paul Speckman, "Sleep when you're dead."
Exactly, brother. You know it, brother.
Yeah.
Sleep when you're dead, yo.
You'll sleep enough when you get dead.
So you got the master tours first, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna jump on. And that's what Vader, I think, too, right?
Yeah. So we got the master. That's a month or so long, and then right after that, Skeletal is out with Malevolent Creation, Cataclysm, and Vader on the Carnival of Death U.S. tour, which should be sick too. That's a bus tour on the U.S.
Wild bunch right there.
I know. I know that. Old Rusty's gonna have to find a little smoking buddy, I think.
Yeah, you don't have no problem with that. That's for sure.
No, that's funny.
So, yeah. He
hadn't seen you in 20 years. There's a question down. I'm trying to get to this question. I don't know why my mouse acts up every time we go live. Is this the same master that was out with us a few years back? Saw Ruston in Metro Gallery last October when Skeletal was out. You're the fucking machine, dude.
He is a machine, no doubt.
Gas mask and hand grenades.
Ruston is in this little circle of musicians that are drummers that are better guitar players than the guitar players on tour. So I'll give you an example, Ruston. So I was on tour with who the hell was I on tour with? Cattle Decapitation. So the band Sing Bouzouki Bob from Ohio, the drummer, who he's the guy, I think he writes all the music too. Cody is his name. He is fucking an insane guitar player. So one day we're like doing sound check.
You should play guitar for that band then.
He's ridiculous guitar. Like he's one of those guys you just start naming songs and he'll just start playing it.
That's awesome.
Any kind of music, and so he is just like, and he said that he's a guitar player, really. I'm a guitar, not a drummer. He just got into that position.
He's really good. He was playing when they were on tour, and Alex recorded it and sent it to me, and he goes, "That's their drummer." I was like, "Shit."
Yeah, we did.
He was sick.
We tried to do a guitar battle, but I lost miserably.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Alex just thought you had to beat the guy up with a guitar. Like, motherfucker.
So you're in that little crew of like these ridiculous drummers that play amazing guitar. So I hope to hear some stuff from you, with the guitar again.
One of these days, yeah, dude. I'm sitting on like 7 things like recorded. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with them.
Yeah.
That's a busy guy right there, man.
I'm also really lazy, so
It doesn't
To be
sound like
honest. Yeah, I'm fucking lazy as shit, dude. What are you talking about? Super lazy. But I mean, I feel like it's kind of like it happens in clusters. So I get real excited and go crazy for a while, and then I'm just like, I'm gonna stare
gotta
at the
get
wall
away.
for a month,
Yeah. Trust me, it's just like when those guys, everybody's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss you," and I'm just like, "Can't wait to get the fuck out of here and go home with my family."
He's like, all right, dude. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you in a month, basically.
Yeah. Totally. But so you got the Master Tour, then you have the Vader Level Creation, and is it Cataclysm is on that too?
Yep, Cataclysm, Vader, Malevolent Creation, and Skeletal Remain.
That is a stacked tour right there.
Right? That'll
Yeah.
be fucking pretty sick, dude. I'm not gonna get bored of that. That's the fun thing, dude. Like, we keep going on these tours where I'm just like supposed to be warming up, and I'm just like side stage, like, just like, oh shit, or like we just keep playing with bands that I enjoy, so it's a pleasure. I like it. So, yeah.
So will we hear any new music from Skeletal Remains with you at the helm?
That's what we're talking about. So I think after this next tour, I think is the idea, and we have a few things coming up. We have like 70,000 tons of metal, so the guys are going to come down here to Florida because that leaves basically from my backyard, and hopefully we'll have some time to work on stuff then. But I think it's the things are starting to move. The writing goblins are coming out, and I got my little keyboard over here. I'm writing all kinds of fun stuff. For intros and whatnot, which I really love. I enjoyed orchestrating all that shit. But yeah, man, we got that stuff. We got the Master Tour I'm super stoked about. And but I mean, what I've been working on is related to music, but I'm trying it right now, so I'm building out courses and all this fun stuff. So basically, I've done a lot of this research and studying into what's called brainwave entrainment. So I can give you like a little rundown without totally chewing your ear off here, probably, if you want.
Yeah, let's hear it.
But so, all right, so the brain waves, you have different brainwave states. When you're sleeping, it's delta, which is like, it's deep relaxation, it's sleeping, it's emotional regulation, it's calming yourself down. And then you have alpha, which is like where you're visualizing, like you're awake, but you're visualizing things and you're thinking, when I'm like visualizing when I was a kid, visualizing myself on stage, playing in front of all these people and all that. It's like what leads to manifestation, right? And I skipped one. There's also theta, which is like lucid dreaming, when you're like half asleep, half awake, but more in the dream realm, right? And these are all like measurable brainwaves. They put an EEG or an electroencephalogram on your head, which is, they're basically like, you've seen the things that people have like that, all the electrodes on their heads. It's not sending a signal, it's receiving. They're piezo mic. They're like super high, sensitivity microphones, and they're picking up the resonant frequency that your brain is putting out. And so like, when you're dreaming, it's delta. When you're half asleep, half awake, theta. Alpha, when you're laying there before you get out of bed and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this today, da 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 da. Beta is when you're like driving your car, smoking a fucking cigarette or whatever, talking on the phone, trying to get to work, doing all this shit. That's just like, your routine, your like non-critical thinking or habit-based bullshit. Then high beta, I'm going through all this shit. High beta is like your overload, it's stress, it's constant stimulation. And these, as you go up in all these, the waveform, right, of the frequency of the note that it's producing gets more rapid and higher pitched, right? More complex pattern emerges basically. And you would think as it goes up, right, you're more conscious and it almost leads to like stress, like in high beta. But then you get to gamma, which is the highest frequency. It's like 40 to 100 hertz. And that is totally different. So that's like where people that have meditated forever, their brains are there. And it's just like peak awareness, higher cognitive function, kind of transcendent states, and just like your ability to problem solve is just like bang, 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 bang.
Wow.
So, right. And these are just the normal measurable brainwave states of any human being. typically, like we as like Western or American people, we hit gamma maybe like once every few months, and that's the aha. Like, you ever have that moment where everything comes
yeah.
together and you're like, oh yeah, fuck, okay, aha. But like the
Yeah.
super aha, where you get deeper meaning into these things, and like it could be about a phrase that you've said your entire life, and then you just think about it differently. You're like, oh shit, that's the gamma state. And we get that flashes of that, but people live in that shit. And what I'm trying to do, so is there was this guy, Jeff Strong, and the Strong Institute. There's an institute that he founded, and they did tons of research into how to basically entrain the brain or match the rhythm of the frequency of specific brainwave frequencies through percussion. So he's playing, and he figured out there's like a formula to it. And he's done years and years of research with people with like, you know, ADD and all these different things, and normal people, and it does the same thing for everybody, which is wild. So
Wow.
his thing that his big thing is like doing doing theta brainwave entrainment, because that's like, you know, lucid dreaming, visionary states. It's like that. It relaxes the whole nervous system and everything. But his whole thing is, he's saying that you can't entrain or match the pulse of the pattern in your brain to this drum pattern in gamma, because the BPMs or beats per minute are too high, which are usually like around 300 BPM, so like 260 to 300 or higher, and it has to be in like non-repeating odd time signatures. And I'm like, dude, clearly you haven't heard fucking like progressive death metal, because that's like the whole thing is like odd time signatures and high BPM. So my research is basically like building on his shit in that regard. This is one portion of it. It goes crazier, but building on that and being able to not only entrain delta, theta, gamma, or delta, theta, alpha, but also entrain gamma, which is like the total open awareness state of consciousness that is measurable. And this is, again, it's like, you know, but basically you can bring people into this state of just like open awareness. And yeah, so it's interesting that. And then also rhythm based. So I'm building courses and programs and kind of like exercises that are based on these things, right? And then play like things that people can listen to or play. The other part of it is that as drummers, and piano players also have this, but mainly drummers, because it's the whole body. So all right, let's put it this way. Most people, you know, everybody that isn't a drummer, right? When they use their brain, you're using one hemisphere of the brain for a lot of activities. You use both hemispheres, but separately, right? Or like in just guitar, for example, your hands are working in unison, right? Unless you're Stanley Jordan, right? But bass too, everything's in unison. So that's one hemisphere of the brain. With the drums, it's interesting. So with those people, there's a part of the brain called the corpus callosum, which is in the back, and it's responsible for the communication between the hemispheres of the brain. And in most normal people, there's a lot of connections in the corpus callosum, and they're thin. Some of them don't go anywhere. They kind of just end randomly. But in drummers, this is the interesting thing. The brain is physically changed. That part of the brain, the corpus callosum, responsible for these, you know, communication between the hemispheres. It has fewer connections, but they're huge. So there'll be like only 2 or 3, but they're like super highways of information, and they're lit up all the time. And what I've like basically come to the conclusion of is that that's because, like, have you ever sat down at a drum set and tried to play like a AC/DC, but all your fucking limbs go at the same time?
Yeah.
Right? So that's gaining limb independence. When you're able to do a beat and you're layering things, you're doing things at different times at the same time, right? What that is, that's limb independence. What that is learning how to rewire, like neurologically rewire your brain. And why your hands all go at the same time, everything goes at the same time, because you're used to using the one hemisphere. Right. When you do this, you're opening yourself up. So you're literally programming, like neurologically programming yourself and physically changing your brain, which is fucking nuts to me. So I'm able to then extrapolate these motions, which are just polyrhythms, and I can use basic geometrical shapes like squares, triangles, different things, to then program people, like they're programming themselves by, you know, basically tapping different things to a consistent tempo that are in different numbers, and essentially building that part of the brain and using both hemispheres of the brain simultaneously. And this lasts not only because it's a physical change, not only like for the exercise, but it lasts and it goes into everything else that you do.
So is that so the program that you're developing, is it going to be some sort of treatment for sleep disorders or memory loss or dementia or?
So that's the interesting thing in all this, the research I'm doing, a lot of this stuff does help with those kind of things. So it's really for everybody. It can, and it's a lot of these things have been used as treatments for people with like neurological disorders because it literally physically changes the brain so that it rewires itself. And I'm like a neuroplasticity coach. You know, I'm just trying to get people to use their fucking brains, God forbid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, let's see if this makes any sense to you. I mean, because the way I hear it, this could also help with being creative. So when inspiration happens, you know, we don't know where the hell it comes from. It comes out of nowhere sometimes. So
feels like it.
Where you're getting at, if you're able to, you know, get to that certain point of consciousness where that you can actually conjure those ideas a lot easier. I don't know if that's making any sense, but
yeah,
you know, even like somebody, I think Roger may have, or you brought up Jimmy Page, and you know, I remember hearing the stories of Jimmy Page doing rituals to, you know, bring the riffs, you know.
Well, exactly, dude. I mean, the word conjure is like pretty spot on. And like, that's the thing I would say.
I'm not sure if that makes any sense to you, what I'm saying.
No, it totally makes sense. I mean, this shit goes into all sorts of esoteric stuff. I mean, a lot of this kind of stuff is already known in a lot, you know, quote unquote occult, right? I don't like using that word, but like esoteric things, systems, practices that have been around a long time. And for me, like if I need to draw in inspiration, I feel like that comes from the muse, right? So whatever that is, wherever the muse is, it's kind of a feminine personification of some sort of energy, right? You want to be called to inspiration. Well, that's almost like sexual in nature if you think about it. It's not like physically sexual, but like you're inspired. You're in, you know, it's almost erotic. You're being drawn to this thing. Like, what is that thing? This call for inspiration. And like, you can absolutely tap into, you know, and again, this depends on how you look at things, but you can, you know, use these sort of practices and combine them with some kind of like, you know, spiritual practice, like whatever you call on to pull inspiration into. You could ask, you know, whatever. I don't, you know, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but like wherever you draw that from, whether you think it's aliens or it's Jesus or it's fucking some ancient Dionysian thing, who knows? Call upon that, draw that into you, and at the same time do these things that are physically, like scientifically helping you, that are like proven. You know, this, it seems all crazy and esoteric, but when you break things down into like a scientific thing, it's like, oh, okay. Just like if giants existed, we wouldn't think it was crazy because it would just be a normal thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And Cheat said, when it's time to come up with riffs, crank it up to gamma.
That's right. Gamma riffs.
And Trouble said it's interesting.
Good. Buy my course. But yeah, so I'm working on that, and that's like, dude, I have so much. I'm going nuts. I just pulled open one of the things, and it's like I have so much shit to go through and organize, and then that goes into like specific. So like, okay, good example. I had a few lessons on the last U.S. tour we did. And I had these two kids in Chicago that were both named Jack, and they're fucking amazing. Shout out to the Jacks, dude. They're unbelievable. Both like 17 killer drummers. And I was like, well, what do you guys want to learn? And the one Jack was like, God bless him. He was like, I want to learn how to warm up, and I want to learn how, like, proper breathing, proper posture, all these things. I want to learn how to warm up, and I want to learn how to make sure that I'm like mentally prepared and relaxed for this shit. At like a show, you know. And I'm like, dude, that's like, so I literally just made them do yoga and breath work for like 40 minutes. Like, yeah. And then at the end just showed them like a warm-up. But dude, like for people that are already they put in their 10,000 hours, right? This is the supposed 10,000 hours it takes to become like a master of your craft, right? Which, whatever, that's debatable. You see some people that have put in 8 million hours and they fucking suck, but like
Yeah.
that's not the point. So like, you know, when people are at a certain point, especially in metal, like it's, you know, there's no, like, if somebody can't cut it, like, you're gonna see that shit immediately. It's very transparent. This music is unforgiving in many ways, right? So if
Right.
you see somebody can't blast for a minute straight, then shit, you know, you can't blast. Like, that's it. There's no fudging it. But when you're at this certain point, and you can do what you need to do or want to do, right, in this context, but then you're feeling like you're like almost at this threshold of like, how can I make what I already do easier? And it's really all this like preparatory, like little things, man, because then it's just like you're tweaking your game at that point.
Yeah.
So rather than just being like, I have to change my whole paradigm, it's like, no, you've already kind of worked on that. You're at a point where you could like sit there and do your thing for a while, but like you need to just tweak little things. And you're like, because when you're at that point, the amount of energy you're putting into things is like, just even from like a technique standpoint, when you get really good at some kind of technique, it's only a method of expression of the creativity that you want to come out. But
Right.
the more you're out of your own way to do that, the better. So the more you have locked in with your quote unquote muscle memory, like that's a silly term, but it's not in your muscles, but your muscle memory, your neural pathways, all these things. Again, that can go into the beta realm, but like you're able to do it. So it's kind of just like you disappear and it's just music coming out of your instrument. So anyway, my whole rambling thing is when you're already doing that, you know that you just need to make these like few changes, and for them to be like acutely aware that those changes are like really just internal,
Right.
it was like really awesome. And
Yeah.
so I feel like a lot of people are moving because there's so much information out there. You have a lot of these like Dave Asprey kind of people and like people that are researching nutrition, because doctors, you know, you could be a fucking doctor and not know a thing about nutrition, which is insane to me. Because like
Yeah.
we're being fucking poisoned at every goddamn turn in this country,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
by
true.
everything, let alone just the food and water. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, people are waking up. They want to fucking educate themselves. I'm doing my own research because I want to educate myself. And whatever the fuck I find, I'm going to be like, what is this? Stop eating canola oil, you know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck it is. You know?
Yeah.
True.
Well, and you know, and I asked the question about dementia because, you know, for one thing, I mean, dementia cases are off the friggin' chart. Like something's changed, and you know, my hope is my dad died of dementia, and my hope is, because coming out of public safety, I can tell you, like, there's not a lot of money to be made. There's shit tons of money to be made in cancer. There's not in dementia care. So I don't think they'll ever solve the cancer problem because
No.
everybody's getting rich off of it. But dementia is just unfortunately, it's a money suck on the healthcare system. So anytime I hear something like this, I'd be curious, because you mentioned a couple of things, like if anybody's doing any gathering statistical data on drummers and the rate of which they get dementia, because I was following, you know, they said for a long time, you know, there are lower rates of dementia in people that play instruments. So I was like, you know, you get to an age that you really start being more conscious about that, especially if you have a grandparent or a parent or aunt or uncle that directly affects you with it. So you're like, shit, man, I don't want to go through that. So let me do this. So that, you know, I'm like, all right, well, that's another good reason to stay active with guitar and playing instruments. But then Glenn Campbell dies, and I'm like, he's a good guitar player, and he played his entire life, and he had dementia at the end, and blew that theory for me, you know. So it's like,
well, that goes back to the drumming thing, I think, too.
Right.
You know?
Right. Go ahead.
I don't know, go for it, Alex.
Oh, I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a few things about that for sure. I just pulled out, I have like a whole thing that I wrote about that basically, and how like some of the research that I was doing, this is from like months back, so I have to reread it. But about the utilization of both hemispheres of the brain simultaneously, like does affect that part of the brain. Not only, I think it's like the prefrontal cortex, and the corpus callosum and another portion of the brain. But another interesting thing is they did a study, I think in the fucking late 80s or 90s, on New York City cab drivers and dementia, and the part of the brain that's responsible for like directions and you know, orientation, which dementia, you know, you're like, where am I? What's happening, right?
Right.
In New York City cab drivers, that part of the brain was like engorged and like really used because it has to do with orienteering, like where am I, where's my position in relation to this, that, and the other thing.
Right.
And they knew every fucking where they were going, right, in their
Right.
little world. So like that part of the brain was very active, whereas people with dementia, it's almost dormant, and it's degenerative, obviously. But also there's a great, so this band that had been courting me, they're great. As friends of mine, this band called The Reticent. They're just amazing, kind of proggy stuff, real interesting. The guy's father also passed away from dementia, and he wrote a whole album about it. So if you want to have a good cry, it's really good. But like again, them, like he tells me like people play, or he'll play and people cry and shit, and I'm like, I love it, dude. It's either beating each other up or they're crying. It's perfect.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah.
But the album, I'll send that over to you. It's called The Oubliette, and it's really fucking moving. It's good shit. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like cool work that you're doing, and
Thank you.
Immediately grabbed my interest when you started going down that road, because it is something that's out of control. And tomorrow I'm going to sell all my guitars and take up drums. and I'm going to be an Uber driver.
I need
What's
you
that?
know, it makes sense, like you were saying about the studies that less musicians got dementia, because you know, being creative, you're working everything, you know, like everything is, you know, like they say, reading a book, reading is good for you, you know, and so that kind of makes sense. But then when you bring up you know, Campbell, you know, you know, but who knows what maybe he wasn't playing much, maybe he wasn't in creative place.
Some of it, like, we don't know. I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but we all know they're feeding us all kinds of bullshit. You know, you mentioned it in our food. I eat, you know, you go in and you get a cereal that you think is healthy, and it says bioengineered foods
sprayed with fucking glyphosates, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's something in all this shit, and all of a sudden, you know, we used to, you know, have, you know, I can remember when I was a kid, you'd hear once in a while of somebody, you know, getting Alzheimer's or whatever. And now it's like almost everybody.
Well, you know, even in you know, Ruston, I'm sure you could you know, attest to this. Like if you go to Europe and you have McDonald's or something like that, it tastes completely different than the McDonald's here in the States. It actually tastes a lot better, you know?
Right.
And it's like, it even tastes cleaner, if that makes any sense.
Well, they have really strict kind of like laws, and they don't have any Monsanto bullshit, which that's hilarious to me, that Monsanto has such like a huge effect on all our foods, like crops and everything, because they literally created fucking Roundup, which gives everybody cancer. They created Agent Orange, which caused all kinds of multi-generational birth defects and like crazy shit. Fuck all that. And dude, and then another thing, like you're talking about here, I mean, I live in Florida, so everybody's like skin cancer, you know, and everybody wears sunscreen and all this shit, dude. And it's like, there's so many carcinogens in sunscreen. It's nuts.
Well, and you know what's worse is I got so again, coming out of public safety, I'm pretty sensitive to certain things like chemicals and all that kind of shit, and decon and all that. So not decon like rat killer, but like decontamination. So we would go to the beach, and she would take, and this isn't anything against my wife, she's doing what we think is right. So we take our daughter, who was young at the time, and we take out this aerosol spray of suntan lotion, and we would spray ourselves down with it, and it smelled really good. But I'm like, what the hell what is the propellant making it? It's probably a flammable liquid we're spraying on us.
And the smell is endocrine disruptors that fucks up all your hormones and all kinds of shit. Dude, but it's crazy with all the skin cancer shit, right?
Yeah.
If you look at pictures of people, you know, up until like the 70s outside, everybody was pretty fit. Like
Yeah.
nobody was really fucking grotesquely obese, and then all of a sudden, they, butter is bad, and we need these heart healthy oils like canola oil, which was literally a motor oil. It was an engine
Yeah.
oil originally.
Yeah.
And dude, the whole story behind all that shit is nuts. And how those are produced, you have to fucking high heat, all this like expeller press. They have to combine it with chemicals to deodorize it. It makes it rancid. They have to deodorize the rancid shit out of it. And it's plastic. It's petroleum oil essentially. And this is like, canola oil, palm kernel oil, any of these seed oils. The only shit that's good that's an oil is extra virgin cold pressed olive oil and coconut oil. Everything else, like avocado oil, 99% of the time has other shit mixed into it and it doesn't even say. But the thing about this, it's in fucking everything, dude. And this is wild. They did studies with pigs, this was a while ago, where they were trying to fatten them up and they gave them coconut oil and they wound up losing weight. So then they gave them canola oil and they blew up and got fat and all this shit. But what it is, because it's petroleum and it's in fucking everything. If you start going to the grocery store and pick up the shit, turn it around and read it, and you see canola oil, you're going to be like, why the fuck is this in bread? Why is this in everything? And dude, you eat that, that's petroleum. That's plastic you're putting in your fucking body, but it's a fat, right? Because it's an oil. Your skin makes new cells out of that shit. Your skin is plastic, essentially, when you do that. The sun comes out and it cooks it, and that turns into like a hard fucking thing on your skin. It's like, dude, that's what's skin cancer then? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just one aspect of it. It does all kinds of fucked up shit.
I know this is a guitar show, but I think this is kind of interesting.
Sorry.
because it's shit that people don't think about. So this is my last story, and I'll make it fast. And it's not guitar related at all, but what we're talking about. So you're talking about the oils, the canola oils. I years ago, I had somebody tell me, if you like eat a good breakfast, basically eat 4 eggs, toast, oatmeal, and all that kind of stuff, which is like in my father's time, I remember him eating like egg beaters because his doctor told him not to eat eggs. So for like 10 years now, I've eaten 3 to 4 eggs every single morning for breakfast. Not only that, so they were getting ready to put me on a statin drug for cholesterol. And it was just borderline high, and I didn't want to go on it. This is a no shitter. I stopped using Pam and all those nonstick things for my eggs, and I started making my own butter.
Yes,
it's so freaking good, man. I nerd.
Yeah, I love
we talk about guitars, and then I'm like, guess what, Alex? I made fucking butter.
He's over there turning.
No. I would like to. So KitchenAid mixer. I commandeered my wife's KitchenAid mixer, and I just did some last week, and it's super easy. Throw it in the mixer. You have butter, and it tastes totally different than any other butter you buy at the store. Even if you I tried to buy the Amish butter in the ball, and it even tasted different.
$20 ball. Dude, now you know what you got to do?
Went to 160. It dropped 40 points.
Wow.
And you know what?
Stearic acid, dude.
And you know what? You know what the doctor said when I got it? He said he wanted it at 160. I said, bingo, I got it to 160. And he goes, I still want you on a stat. And I was like, of course you do.
Yeah.
That's the end of my story.
Fuckers.
Oh,
dude,
look.
See, now you got to get raw milk and start doing it with the raw milk, dude.
Oh, you know what? So, Alex, no shit. As a crow flies a half a mile that way, there's a farm, and they were on the internet the other night giving away raw milk because they had too much.
Dude, get it. That
I
shit
have
is
somebody
next
that
level.
does it. He's in like a farm, totally un-guitar related. But he's in like one of those farm co-ops, and he gets milk every week. And this will tell you, I swear to God, my last thing. Remember when bread used to get moldy? Remember the good old days?
Yeah.
When bread used to get moldy?
My bread gets moldy because I buy it from a fucking lady down the street who literally, like a fucking drug dealer, a redheaded pregnant woman sells me sourdough bread and raw milk. I'm not even joking. And she does it like a drug deal because it's illegal. Isn't that fucking crazy? Raw milk. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all this is interesting. I don't know if anybody watching will think it's everybody's still watching though. We haven't lost anybody. They're not talking about guitars, they're talking about fucking milk and butter. Roger makes fucking butter.
Healthy mind and body, you're gonna play that instrument way better.
Like,
right?
No wonder he sucks at guitar. He's making fucking butter.
Like this, churning that butter, you know.
You know what? By the way, you do that on a lot of podcasts.
What, churn the butter?
That motion.
How about this? I don't think I've done that on a podcast yet.
Oh, geez.
Oh my
But
god.
I think that was a good discussion.
Yeah.
I like where you're going with that. That's a cool, like anything to figure out how to get our brains, to keep our brains working.
Because let's be honest, dude, everybody's fucking, I don't want to say the bad word, but everybody's an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know what's going on right now in the world, but please stop. You know?
Yeah.
They're all making money.
I don't want to leave my house. I could just build a studio and
hang out with your friends, you know, talk about milk.
Get some farm animals and, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm such a bitch when it comes to farm animals. I'm so afraid of them. I don't know why.
Until you gotta eat, you know? And you're like,
yeah. You know what's
or
funny
whatever.
is, you know, I get in those weird moods, like especially after COVID and then shit, where everybody in the world's bombing everybody. So I'm like, I gotta buy seeds. And my wife's like, what? You're gonna buy? I gotta buy seeds. And she goes, what are you gonna do with them? I was like, I helped my dad plant a garden when I was little. I can do it. She goes, you hate vegetables. I'm like, if my fat ass gets hungry enough, I'll eat a leaf. And you know what? There are days, and so there's a window right there outside of my shop. There are days I'm working on guitars, and I look outside my window, and there's a fucking deer laying under the window. Dinner.
Deers like leaves.
Yeah.
The circle of life.
That's right. Well, to quote our good friend Pat Witch of Hell Witch there, buddy, I remember him saying we were in like Singapore or something, and we were so hungry. And he's like, I just remember coming out of the room, and he's like, man, I'm so hungry, I could eat a skunk. So I guess when you get to a certain point of hungriness, you'll eat a fucking leaf or two, you know? Yeah,
you know what? So it's funny because skunks used to be really intolerable, but now that everybody's smoking weed, somebody ran over a skunk on the road the other day, and when we went by it, I was like, who the fuck's smoking weed? It was
some fucking skunk over there smoking weed.
I'm sorry, Alex. I dragged us right in the gutter with this one.
No, this is great.
Alex is going to call me tomorrow and go like, what the fuck? Yeah, and you know what? He knew better. He knows you well, and he knows me. He should have known not to get us together.
He's like, I'm going to get 3 words in on this whole fucking episode.
And my wife's probably upstairs going like, what the hell was going on downstairs last night?
Oh, skunks, butter churning, everything.
My brother bolted. I don't know what we said. He's like, no, he drove down. He drove down from Philly. He's tired. He's got to go to Knoxville tomorrow, so he's just passing through.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Alex. What next?
Well,
oh, wait a minute. Cheech wants to. I thought he would get in earlier. I eat rabbits, not rabbit food.
Yes, but you grow rabbit food for the rabbits that you eat. You need meat rabbits that are fat, right? You don't want fucking skinny meat rabbits.
I used to eat a lot of rabbits when I was a kid. Last time I had rabbits was in Mexico, actually.
Yeah, Mexico. Me too.
Yeah.
Really?
Up in the mountains.
I've never eaten a rabbit.
It's a kind of a funny, maybe to people that wild animals aren't going to find it very funny. But so we were, on tour, and it was so John McEntee's ex-wife was with us, and we went to, it was like some old school restaurant in the middle of nowhere in Mexico, and back of the restaurant they go grab whatever they're going to cook, that's alive. And she got freaked out, and I was just like, oh, I got the white, the pretty white one,
Fluffy.
that's the one that I just ate. She was having a meltdown over me eating rabbit, but
rascally wabbit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that was the one, but I was telling her that.
See, I always loved that, dude. I'd go down to Chinatown and I'd go down to Chinatown in Philly and be like, I want that fucking fish. Like, give me that one. I want to eat him in front of all his friends,
All right.
Rabbit's good, man.
Yeah.
So
rabbit, squirrel too. If you put squirrel in like a obviously you just peel their skin off like a sock. They're easy. They just come right off.
Yeah.
But then you put them in what is it? The air suck bag. The word I can't think of, the suck bag. They suck the air out of it. You do like sous vide and shit stuff. Anyway, you put them in one of those and you just throw them in the sock drawer or the sock drawer.
Yeah.
The fucking whatever the drawer in the refrigerator for a week.
The squirrel drawer.
Yeah, the squirrel drawer. You put them in the squirrel drawer for a week, and they get like a nice
Roger,
kind
this
of flavor.
is pretty much like what it's like to have me and Ruston on tour together. We just like,
I can imagine. Like he said, he had squirrel. I have not had squirrel, but my dad used to squirrel hunt in West Virginia, and they have things called, God, I'm gonna sound like, so half my family's country up in West Virginia, and we moved up by DC, so I'm kind of the city slicker side. So I'm sure my countryside's going to be mortified when I say this, but they have things called fox squirrels that are gigantic in West Virginia, and nobody here has ever really heard of those. But he would go out squirrel hunting and come back, and I don't know why you put them in the back of your vest and then maybe in the squirrel drawer after that. But they would eat squirrel. They would even eat squirrel brain, which they loved. But I never tried it. I didn't. Now deer meat, and for anybody north of us, you would say venison. And these here parts, we call it deer meat. Deer meat's good.
I love venison. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I've had deer quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I even had deer jerky once.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
A guy I used to work with, he was a deer hunter, and he would make jerky out of it. It was actually pretty good.
You guys got to come down to Florida and try that gator.
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 Florida.
You know where I had alligator? Believe it or not, I had alligator in South Dakota.
No shit.
There's a place out there. I was like, why the hell? And it's their thing. They have gator out there.
Weird.
So I don't know.
They probably have hot springs, and they can keep the gators in the hot springs.
Yeah.
We saw them in Idaho. They had hot springs and they had gators in there. And they're like, oh fuck.
Oh,
I feel like I'm home.
Yeah. So what else do we want to talk about eating?
Yeah. I eat all that shit.
This is the squirrel gear locker.
Yeah, this
is the squirrel gear.
These here parts, we're gonna fuck those squirrels up and kill us some deer.
Oh man. Well, hey, can I nerd out with you about some guitar shit?
Oh, wait a minute. Let's get that. Roger, you need to go outside behind a tree, wait for that deer. Let me tell you what. I'm not joking. I swear to God, I'll shut up after this. Alex, you don't see them as much by your house. There are deer. The deer are like rats in the city here. They've literally eaten everything this year. All day, my wife will be laying in the backyard at the pool, and they'll be right on the other side of the fence, just like grazing in my backyard. There'll be 8 of them back there. And you go out and try to make noise, they don't even run anymore. Now, when November gets here, you won't see them.
You can probably just run up and hit one in the head with a hammer and call it a fucking day. Do you guys?
I don't think you need the hammer, man. You just sneak up behind him and jack him. I was doing something with a guitar out here. I was putting a a block on an EVH, and I had to slip out the back door because I was getting ready to do something that was dusty. And I went out. I scared the deer. He scared me. He was literally standing at the back door. I think both of us almost shit ourselves. Yeah, this place is full of deer. So yeah, so
dear.
I'm gonna tackle them. I can tackle them. There's that many here.
So to get back to guitars,
What did you want to talk about? Did you want to talk about guitars?
So I would love to talk about my wonderful guitar, but I don't have it here, of course.
I know, you definitely had some Frankenstein guitars that basically parts guitars. But what, I'm sure you still have them. But is there anything new that you're using now exclusively, or?
Yeah. So for years I used that RG 7-string, then the old late 90s RG 7-strings. I love those. And I actually had one from working at Ibanez in Bensalem.
Right.
I had a Universe neck that fit an RG body, and it was like the one Steve Vai Universe model where the neck pocket was the same as the RG. So I still have that one. But what I've been using for the past few years now is obviously, and I've been with Armadillo, which is Dean guitars, D drum. I've been using D drum forever. They're amazing. And Chris, who's over at fucking Dean now. Shout out Chris Canella. Shout out Mike Petrak. You guys rule. But he hooked me up a few years back with an ML, and it was one of the ones that he redesigned that had a USA Kahler on it. It had the Nazgul and Sentient pickups. It had a little maple burl on the top. It was mahogany. I wish I fucking had it here. But the cool thing with this guitar, and I know you get this from playing V's, Alex, a lot, is like you almost hold the guitar in the classical position where it's like the neck is higher, than like if you're holding a Strat, it's more like this, right?
Right. Yep.
The thing is like this, like it's your dick, you know what I'm saying? Like it's between your legs, and like this thing, how else are you going to rip a sick guitar solo if it's not down there? But so like a V, the way it sits like classical position. So you're like this more, right? Yeah. And so that ML also sits like that because it's the big dime bag shape thing. And I gotta put it over on the left side of my body. And the cool thing about this guitar, it has, it's got 24 frets, obviously, which I love. It's a bolt-on, which I always feel has more sustain for some reason. I think it's because of the metal screws, whatever. Mm-hmm. It has all brass, milled brass, fucking USA Kahler, all this shit. But it has like fanned frets, like it's a multi-scale. But the thing about this, where 99% of the fucking companies that do multi-scale or fan fret guitars, they have the neutral fret, which is like the one fret that is like a normal fret. It's perfectly 90 degree perpendicular to the way the neck goes, right? So it'll be like this. Here's the neck, and you have the frets kind of go like, you know what I'm saying? Like this fan, almost like half a clock face. But anyway, most of the guitar companies that make this, the neutral fret is at around like the 7th or 9th fret. So you have frets that go this way, and you have frets that go this way. With this guitar, it's the 7-string version of this ML with the Kahler and everything. The neutral fret is the nut. So the nut itself is the neutral fret, and then the first fret it starts bending. So by the time you get up to here, it's at a very steep angle when you're up at the higher frets. But because you're in this classical position, when I go to like first position on the guitar, I'm not going like this.
Right.
My arm's not bending backwards. My arm is just, boom, it's right here. And then when I come down, it goes like this. Right. So I go almost like this. Like it's less than 90. It's like 45 degrees that I'm going. I'm not going from this middle point back at all. My hand doesn't do that. It doesn't make sense. My elbow's here and I'm going down. So when I get here, dude, all I have to do then is this motion. So it's like, so I'm holding it, it comes down, and then I go this way. So it's very natural pivoting of like, like this.
What guitar is that?
And I'll have to show you like an image of it.
Like a star shape. Like the
it's a Dean?
It's a Dean ML. I'll tell you in a second here. I'll pull it up. I'm going to pull it up. It's a Dean ML 7, but it is the newer version with the Kahler 7-string with USA Kahler.
Oh, and it's a Kahler. So
You know what?
Yes, it's the ML Select 7 multi-scale Kahler in satin natural black burst.
Ah,
Beautiful
nice.
guitar. I fucking love it.
Yeah. And how about
But
the
I
neck?
think that's a really cool distinction about it, and I wish I had it in my hands to show you. But that I feel like a
Oh,
lot
wait
of
a
people
minute.
didn't get
What color is it?
It's kind of like orangey, blondish a little bit. It has like a maple burl top on a mahogany body.
All right, let me see if I can do this.
Dean ML Select 7 multi-scale.
Oh, ML.
But that was the thing that I feel like a lot of people missed on that guitar was like the fact that you hold it in the classical position and the way the frets are fanned on it are perfect. And you like if I don't think about it, I play it perfectly. If I'm looking and I'm thinking, then I'm just like, but if I just play like how it makes sense, then it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Hold
feel
on,
like
let
I
me
was
see
able
if I
to
can-
actually like get a bigger spread with like weird Alan Holdsworth kind of spread with my hands on it,
Yeah.
which is fun.
No, that's
that.
see, is this it right here?
Yeah, and it has coil tap on both on everything. Like it's got everything I ever really wanted in a guitar. The only thing I would ever
Okay,
change
there
if
you
I
go.
ever got some custom version was to make it actually pointy on the body, like super pointy, and that would be it.
Yeah.
Everything else is my perfect guitar. It's big,
Well, yeah.
so that's the other thing, dude. You always see. Alex has heard this a million times. Every time we play, and I'm on the drums, people are like, "Why is that guy playing a kid's drum set?" And I'm like, "Fuck," So imagine what it looks like with a guitar in my hands. It looks
Yeah,
stupid. So I get
Yeah.
this little. So I was like, all right, I'm either gonna own it and get a fucking headless guitar, which whatever, or I'm gonna find a big boy guitar. And thank God Chris designed it, because dude, the last one that I was all about that Chris designed when he was with ESP was that fucking the 407B, the baritone 7-string
yeah.
B. Dude,
Yeah.
that thing was. I was like, finally a guitar that looks normal in my fucking hands. And
Yeah,
he designed this too, so this is even better because it's got the trem and it's got everything
Yeah.
else I want. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
he made it
makes
for me, obviously. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it makes sense for you to pick up one of those guitars because you always played those RG, Strat shaped body guitars.
Right.
It definitely makes more sense, especially how you describe everything
And I always held it like that anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of people slack on these. Like for me, they're super comfortable. I don't
They're
know
the
what
best.
the problem is. They're like, oh, well, how do you sit with it? I'm like, just like this, and
Put it on your lap.
yeah, like not like this,
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. People are always trying to play like this. I'm like, how can you even move? That drives me nuts. Two things drives me crazy about the guitar. You're sitting with it on your right leg and then you're like hitting yourself trying to play, or the fucking thing is so low down. That's when people literally think it's their dick. And it's like, then their arm is like this. How do you play like this? How do you play with your arm fucking straight out? Who cares what you look like? Just play the fucking thing so you don't sound like shit. Then people can close their eyes and rock out, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting, and because there's one of the ESPV I have behind me. It's the first one I got. It was actually from Chris. Chris got me the guitar Canela years ago when I first joined up with ESP. And the body, they don't make them anymore. These guitars, the body of the ESP, but it's a grab it.
Bust it out.
It's a one of the best sounding guitars. I may bring it out next year, but
nice.
Bring it back. But the body's pretty big on it, this would probably fit you pretty well.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. The one I wanted was the
biggest
V.
It's just like the body, and it's heavy too. It's not, usually these are a little lighter or whatever. But this
right.
Great.
Oh, it's probably mahogany.
It is mahogany. Yeah. So,
you like that mahogany, dude. Honestly, I never had one, and then I got a Dean hollow body that was mahogany, and I was like, yeah, this fucking guitar rules.
Well, you gotta talk to Chris and tell him you want, a custom shop Dean. Yeah, I played similar to that shape, a little bit differently. So Rob Barrett from Cannibal Corpse, he's a Dean guy.
Yeah.
So he got, in the last tour we did with them, he got these custom shop star shape, like the old Charvels kind of. And I'll tell you, man, I I played. I think he had a red and a black one. I tried both of them. And, very comfortable and not too heavy either. You know, I don't know what the weight is on the one that you have, but you know, good weight to it. I don't like something too light either. I like a little bit, you know, something one too. But really beautiful neck and very comfortable. You know, very similar to a V. You know, the way it balances out and stuff. So that guitar, and then you mentioned about it's a bolt-on, and you know, I hear a lot of people talk smack on bolt-on guitars, but I think they got their own thing. You know, so you know, I went through a period of like, you know, I just went neck through body, and then I started playing guitars that have a set in neck, which I find probably some of the best sounding guitars.
Dude,
you know?
that one I'll have to show you here. You're gonna like this. I just pulled this one out of storage too.
Oh, nice.
I'm cheating, but actually, it's funny. I traded a guitar for this guitar and a hollow body guitar. But this thing
nice.
rules.
Oh yeah.
And you got the hip shot bridge on there.
Yeah,
too, right?
see, it's super, like, the action is so fucking. I mean, these things, as far as like production guitars, are so killer, man.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was the thing too that I really loved about the newer Dean shit, is like the production stuff is killer. And I gotta say, dude, Dean, low key, whatever the fuck that means, low key has like the sickest fucking custom shop in the country. Like, and now they do all the painting in house too. So it's like I was like blown away, dude. I love like the shit that they're pumping out, and it's like every time I go there, I'm like, you see all this shit hanging. There's like 5 new Kerry King guitars, and you're like, oh my god. But like, you know. And dude, their production shit, I gotta say, dude, Dean, you see the transition on this? I can feel that shit. It's like I can catch my finger on it. On the Dean ones, dude, I haven't felt one at all like that. And they have like that. They'll have like the painted neck, and it'll be all satin there, and then it'll transition to smooth. And dude, even with the transition between painted and like tongue oil or whatever, dude, that's like you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Which is like, I can't say that for Jackson. Jackson was putting out shit for a long while there, I guess, when they first switched over to fucking Fender. That was just like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
But yeah, these are fun.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Custom shop, Ruston Grosse signature series.
Yeah.
That's right. I got to get a custom shop drum set too while I'm at it.
Yeah, you have the matching drum set and guitar.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it won't be made for smaller guys, right?
That'll be $30,000 for the drum set and the guitar together, and he'll even sign it for you.
Yeah, no big deal. You know,
they're just gonna take a kitchen table and like put strings and pickups on it.
Basically, dude. Yeah. Well, it's funny. I have a pumpkin over there with strings on it, so you never know, dude. You could fucking make anything.
To get back to that guitar, that Dean. What's the weight on that? Do you know what the weight is?
It's kind of heavy because it's a mahogany and it's a big boy guitar, but I love the way it's balanced, dude. It just like when I put, they gave me this big, beautiful leather strap, and I just put it on, and it just sits exactly where. So like it's got a little weight to it, but it sits where I need it. So I'm not doing like holding it up. You know, sometimes you gotta fucking like, or you use your arm and you'll like lean down on it so the neck sits up straight. And this one, dude, just fucking hangs exactly where I need it. And I usually like to have it kind of like on like, I heard a friend of mine tell me this years ago, and I've always used this kind of as a measurement on a Strat type body guitar, to have the fucking the strap button like just below your nipple. You know, and I'm like, it's perfect. But this one, I can put it a little lower, and I still have full access because it sits at this like classical positioning kind of angle. And I love it, dude. And there's nothing in the way. It's like a V that has nothing, no horn on the bottom. So I could just get all up in there and fucking churn the butter. And it's great, dude. You know?
And how do you feel about the Kahler?
I love the Kahler, dude. I got a chance to meet Gary and really pick his fucking brain. I love that thing. I think it's fantastic. Obviously, it's a USA Kahler too, so it's like all milled brass. It's incredible. The one thing I don't like about it, and I'll be honest, are on the multi-scale USA Kahlers, they have these little bridge extenders to get them to the right position for intonation for each string.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
like the extended because it's like multiple little pieces. I feel
Yeah.
like you could just, I mean, and I get why they did that because they're trying to make it like analog, like that you could set it up however you want if the intonation is off. But like, I would want to get pieces made where they're only that certain length with maybe just a slight variability, but like less pieces on the Kahler
Right.
because it
Right.
moves sometimes. The bridge will move, and I'll have to tighten it down. That's annoying, but otherwise, like I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
new
how it
Taylors, I think, are
rotates.
super good.
Yeah, instead of it being like on a knife edge, like where it goes like this,
Yeah.
it's on like a dowel, so it's like
Yeah.
rolling, so it doesn't
Yeah.
change the string height at all. It's really
Yeah.
it's a great design. It's made in the U.S., dude. Gary is fucking great, man. Like he's just like literally this older dude is like, yep, I just made this shit
Yeah,
because it's
we're
cool.
gonna try to. We're still gonna try to get them on. They said they would be on. I had to call them a few weeks ago because I have a Kahler killer in here, which they don't make anymore.
No.
And I called them about it. And they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll come on." So we may have them on here soon.
That's
It'd be
cool.
kinda cool
Whoever
to talk
runs
about.
their Instagram is a fucking sweetheart. They sent me all kinds of extra parts and shit. They were
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. And let's see. He said you got a USA caddy.
Yeah, dude, the
Mhm.
fucking USA Deans are really nice, man.
Yeah.
I dig them. They're like the old ones are like baseball bat necks, dude. They're crazy. Like, I mean,
Right.
it's like you could fucking rob somebody with one of those
All that
easily.
tone is coming in through that neck.
That's right.
Yeah. You know what? I like that. I'm sitting here looking at it on my other screen. I like that guitar. I don't even mind that it's a multi-fret or multi-scale like that.
Yeah, I
Man,
wasn't
the
sure how it was gonna
headstock,
feel, but I love it, dude. I was really surprised
I
because it
just
follows
think
the
that the
natural movement of your
headstock is
arm.
too much for me. I don't know why.
That's the one thing that everybody complains about is those
Yeah.
headstocks. And I'm like, dude, it's like death metal. It's like screaming and growling in death metal music. What else are you
Yeah.
gonna put there?
Yeah, well, and
You
so
know?
some of it I not only as a player, but as a guitar tech and working on them,
Yeah.
like when I have them back behind me, they're like trying to hit everything because it's like two big ass antennas hanging off of it. They're just a little extra long and extra in the way for me
Yeah.
sometimes.
I like a good reverse headstock, but otherwise it's kind of like I like the new Carl from Nile Dean V that they got because it's just like he's got the big pointy V and then the headstock is just a little pointy V, and I'm like, it makes sense to me. I don't know,
that
like,
would be
but
better.
I hear you. The biggest complaints I ever hear about Dean guitars is that headstock, and I'm like, if
Yeah.
like a headstock shape is the worst fucking thing, then cool. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, look at those Kiesel guitars. All of those guitars look fucking weird as shit, but they play amazingly.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I know what you're
Yeah.
saying though. That's everybody's fucking complaint.
Well,
is the
and
headstock.
some of mine is not
Same thing with
necessarily
me.
even the look, it's just the function and working around it when you're
Yeah.
working on them.
Yeah.
Well, God forbid if I say something else about a damn headstock.
How
I
dare
have
you?
handed to me about the Jackson one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, you don't like the Jackson one now?
No, don't.
Oh,
No.
Roger.
No. I was talking about one of the new ones, and somebody thought I was talking about a pointy one. They were like, "What are you talking about?" I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
just wrote back in the comments like, "Look
a
this
different
one up."
headstock that Jackson used on some model. It's kind of I don't know how to describe it. But,
Yeah, it's almost like a swoop. It's like a banana.
yeah.
What, like an old pointy one, or what do you mean?
No,
Yeah,
it's not
it's-
pointy.
I don't know how you man.
I've seen that
like
weird
from a
paddle
pure
one that you have.
model. Yeah, it's not it's not your trademark Jackson
Yeah,
headstock.
hold on. Let me see if feel free to talk amongst yourselves. I'll see if I can find it.
I've seen
I've
the
done
one
this a couple
Jackson
times on this.
headstock that's funky. That's that like weird little
Yeah, I mean
paddle one.
it was the same thing with me with Dean with the headstock. I was
Yeah.
always never as much as I'm a metal guitar player plays B's. I've never been when it gets more crazy, like radical, the shape, it's like a little too much for me. Like I'm still kind of, I don't know, moderate in my,
Totally.
shapes
Well,
or
dude,
whatever.
check out the Dean Vengeance Select with the Floyd.
Hmm.
You're gonna love it. You just are. Now and then imagine the headstock is reversed on that. Drum
Right,
roll.
wait a minute. This one first.
All
That
right, all right.
headstock.
Oh yeah, that one I don't mind as much as the other one. It's still weird looking, but yeah.
All right.
I think that's the one that Wild Bill had on tour.
Yes.
Excellent.
On the
All right,
soloist.
what am I looking up?
Dean Vengeance Select Floyd. And they have the Fishman Fluences, dude. I don't know. You might have to talk to Chris, Alex.
The Dean you're talking about.
Ooh. I don't
Dean,
know. I don't want to show Alex
it's
this.
like the Dave Mustaine kind of headstock, right? It's like a straight.
Kinda.
Yeah.
It's like
coming at you.
it's the
y'all
six.
are-
It's
y'all
the
are
inline.
impatient.
What?
As
You're
a fan.
impatient.
There
This
you
one?
go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that looks more normal.
Yeah. I
More
like that.
normal, exactly. For us, yes. For our weird fucking everything, sure.
Yeah.
That's more normal,
I dig that. That's good.
right? And then
Yeah.
imagine the head socks backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I approve.
Yeah, not
That's
bad.
Roger
Yeah.
approved. I don't like the other one. Like I said, it's more working on them. I like that one. That's a good looking guitar.
Right?
What else do you want me to look up? I mean, what else can I do for you guys?
Well, I know one thing. I hate to say it, but I have to get up.
You got to
early
be
to
up.
Yep.
Take my 4-year-old to the dentist tomorrow.
Alex, you're not a fan of Dean guitars. Damn it.
I
What the
played.
hell are you thinking?
I played Rob Barrett's Deans. They were well-made guitars.
Yeah, shut up, egg roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you trying to do here?
Yeah.
I don't know, Alex. I mean,
Well,
do I see one of those in your future?
what's that?
Do I see one of those in your future?
Me?
You heard it here first, folks. That's right. No, I'm just
You know, I do everything I could do to make him switch butt cheeks and get uncomfortable. Anytime you see him on a chair going like this,
Alex is leaving ESP for Dean Guitars.
you know what?
It's funny, those guys will like especially when I'm in LA. So you get all, I'm friends from some of the different companies and stuff.
Yeah.
So, a friend of mine is he's the AR guy for Ibanez, so like my rep is there, he's there, and those guys are all like, I don't know, Tony, I think he's leaving for Ibanez, and they're over there, they're talking, and it's a joke or whatever.
He said we're putting him on. So here you go. You want to see Alex get uncomfortable. So Alex, you can play your new Dean on the Goreaphobia reunion tour.
Oh, whatever. You can play whatever you want. If you can play you can play a table with strings on it. If you guys are going to do that, I'd be happy.
Yeah. Well, when hell freezes over,
The hell freezes over. No, Eagles already did that. You have to call it something else.
we did do that already. We did that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember, and you created 2 new albums out of it, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, we did. We got that. We got that far.
Those were great fucking albums, dude. I still listen to that shit all the time.
Thank you. They're not bad. They're all right.
Yeah. And obviously everything else you're doing now is awesome too. But I think that was the first time I really heard you do like some of the creepier guitar, like moody fucking stuff that you do. That's my favorite.
Like psychedelic stuff going on in the background, and a lot of
totally
slide guitar too. And
dude, like on Apocalyptic Necromancy, there's slide guitar. That fucking dude, that song rips.
Yeah, I was surprised because when I wrote the song and I just showed it to the guys, I figured they were going to be like, and they were like, "Oh, it's got to go on the album." I'm like,
what?
"Really, dude? Like
what?
that?"
What song is that again? I'm trying to look it up here.
White Wind Spectre.
Yes, that's it. White Wind Spectre.
So it sounds like it's like straight out of Susie and the Banshees, 1980 or something.
Yeah, that shit rules.
And Wild Bill did the bass on that.
No shit. Yes, that's right. I remember that. Dude, I got to see him when we were in Europe. He came out to show, him and his wife. They were fucking amazing.
Oh, nice.
It was so good to see him, dude.
Oh, yeah. I saw him a few years back, in Belgium.
Yeah.
He came out. Yeah. Yeah.
The mysterious VJS.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I look over and he's on the other side of the stage and he's like head banging and all this shit. He was like going nuts. And I was like, holy shit, look at Wild Bill over there. He's in
Yes, dude.
you know?
He's the best, dude.
Wild Bill's another multi-instrumentalist and plays everything. And he played on the last Goreaphobia record, and he has a really interesting band called Cursus. Or not, not Cursus. What's Audestuo?
Audestuo, yeah.
Which is really, super atmospheric black metal, some kind of avant-garde stuff on there too. And
he's what else? He's in fucking Sargeist, and he's
Sargeist,
Demoncy.
Yeah,
Nightbringer, obviously, yeah.
Wow.
So Bill's an amazing guy.
Yeah, dude, he rules.
We miss you, Bill.
Yeah.
We need a reunion tour.
Yes. Oh, but hey, you were talking about reading before. I just wanted to throw this in here. I just got this from my good friends at Gallo Glass. They're an amazing publishing company, and they also own a bookstore here. This is a killer book that they just republished by Francis Yates. It's Giordano Bruno and the Hermetic Tradition. The Hermetic Tradition. It's really cool.
Nice.
So it's like all this, whatever. You just check it out for yourself. Gallo Glass Books. It's fucking awesome.
Nice.
So I'm reading.
And you know what? I need to figure out whatever the effect is that you have behind you on the ceiling. I dig it. It looks like your room's getting ready to flash over.
Yeah, well, check this out.
Looks like it's on fire. I love it. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it looks like
it was just $12 Walmart lights.
Dude, that looks cool. That almost looks like it's on fire and it's rolling across the.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good. I've been as soon as you put it on, I was like, wow, that's cool. I need that.
It's been on this whole time. No.
Yeah, I know. No, I just been shutting my mouth about it. All right, Alex, cool. Alex, you got to go. I'm
we'll
do part 2 next week.
Yeah, hang out for a second. So, before you split, so kind of just let us know, like, with the dates of those tours that you got coming up, and if you could leave us with that.
For sure. We have, so I got coming up starting, I think, August 8th to the 17th. We're going to be in Europe doing some festival tours, Skeletal Remains, with also with Suffocation and a few other bands. Then we're doing a few shows right after that in Colombia and Bogota area, I think. And then after that, mid-September, Master is doing a co-headlining tour with Sinister and this band Pig's Blood. And so that'll be fun. That's a full U.S. tour. Then right after and during that is Skeletal Remains supporting Malevolent Creation, Cataclysm, and Vader in the U.S. And then there's more stuff. We got Skeletal Remains will be in Florida at a few places. These aren't announced yet, but like down near me in like Palm Beach County, as well as Tampa. And this is surrounding the 70,000 tons of metal. So that'll be happening like January, February sometime. So, and I think that's all I can talk about now, but there's more shit going on, but check out my social media. That's the best way to find me.
Right before I came down here, Cynthia wanted to say hello to you, and we're going to try and come out to see you guys. Probably, I guess Baltimore, probably the closest.
Dude, that would be awesome. I'd love to see you guys, and please send my love and give her a big hug and give everybody a big hugs, dude. I got to come up there some of these days too and meet that beautiful little lady of yours too. She's adorable, dude.
We got plenty of room, so there's plenty of instruments here too. So.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
We can write an album in 2 days,
dude. Right? Seriously,
there you go.
We have the technology.
Yeah.
And I'll churn butter.
Yeah. In the corner in a chair.
And bring the deer jerky.
Roger be making deer jerky and butter, and
nobody gets deer jerky. I don't know. Man.
Out of the deer milk, you got to extract the deer milk, and then you turn it into butter.
Well,
I'm not going to try to milk a deer. I know butter.
Just one big udder.
So everybody watching tonight, obviously you got to get yourself out to see, Master and
absolutely
Remains in the States. and as well as Europe. Those guys will be over there in Europe. And yeah, first of all, I just gotta say, Russ, I'm just so happy to see you super busy and finally, really after all your hard work, having some success. Because I've always, I when I first saw him and met him, Roger, I was just like, wow, this he's got something special. First of all, yeah, you're not a kid anymore, but just amazing talent and also as a person, So I'm really happy for you and to see all your success and yeah, it's great. Finally,
Yeah, absolutely.
Brother,
busy.
thank you so much, man. It's a real honor to have you say that stuff. I mean, dude, like I wouldn't be where I am without like literally you directly helping
I don't know
me.
about
So
that.
I do. I know
Yeah.
that. I always think about that shit too. I'm like, dude, like I wouldn't. I mean, I was doing my thing and I had my friends, we were doing our things too, but like you guys saw us and we became closer and like really I wouldn't have been in Master if you and John weren't like, hey, play with Master. And I wouldn't have done anything else at least this is how it played out. I mean, everything else that I did in the metal world kind of hinged on that in a lot of ways because that was like the biggest band that I had ever played with at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So and everybody, I mean, it's the instant relation, like what band I'm from, even though I haven't been on a fucking record still, is Master.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, hopefully that comes up sometime soon. Well, you got a Skeletal Remains music in the works, and we need that Ruston Grosse solo record.
That's right. I know.
A lot going on.
I'm slacking. But dude, thank you so much, man. It's been
anytime,
awesome.
man.
I really appreciate it. I love watching the show, so I'm glad love watching myself.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, and we do have to do a part 2.
I'm all about it.
This has been a lot of fun. Let me blow some of these out real quick because I like to get through the comments so everybody kind of gets recognized. So I think he's saying he's going to see you in New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm excited to go back there.
Aggie, thanks for joining us, man. Always great having you here. He said I'd fit in fine down in New Orleans.
Yeah,
I'll bring my dare jerky with me.
That's right.
Skeletal Remains crushes.
I agree.
Yeah,
and always a great show. And
awesome.
Aggie's gonna finish up with Alex is the man. Alex
Hell yeah,
yeah. This has been a fun show, man. I've had a lot of fun. I have fun doing all these. This one has been I had to let my hair down a little.
It was just kind of like we're just hanging out, shooting the shit, talking about cool stuff, and it's kind of like being out on tour,
Imagine that.
So when people come and see you live, should they bring butter and real milk?
No, they should bring weed. No, I'm just kidding. But no, just come to the show and bring money. Buy all of our merch, please, God. And just show up and fucking smile and talk.
Yeah,
I love talking to people, dude. So it's I don't know, I rarely get
get away from me and reserved.
Yeah, sure.
Like me.
Absolutely. And I have long flowing hair.
We got the weed lined up.
Guys bringing you weed. So
there you go.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Are you good, Alex?
Yeah, I'm good, man. So we'll be here next Thursday. And and once again, thanks to my good buddy here, Ruston Grosse.
Yeah, thanks. It was great meeting you.
Likewise, man.
Worldwide, he will be out there. So you'll be seeing him this year.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right, and everybody like and subscribe. We appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah.
Press the subscribe button wherever the hell it is. I'm trying